I'm Hugo Gye. We're here at Westminster on one of the biggest days of Rishi Sunak's career, and we're looking at everything that just might go wrong with his plan to tackle illegal immigration. The number one threat, the biggest threat that we're all focused on right now, is that he might lose this vote tonight. Dozens of Tory MPs from the right of the party are threatening to vote against the bill because they say it doesn't go far enough. It doesn't guarantee that migrants can be sent to Rwanda without the courts intervening to stop it. Rishi Sunak is, as we speak, locked in talks with these rebels. The outcome remains highly uncertain. Whether they are willing to bite the bullet and vote against Rishi Sunak, knowing that it could potentially end up bringing down the government, remains uncertain. But one thing's for sure right now, they're not happy. It's very possible that he will win tonight, but that doesn't mean that Rishi Sunak is out of the woods in any sense of the word. One threat is that the right-wingers could back him tonight, but keep up this running battle over the bill in the months to come. They are likely to push for the bill to be hardened up. They'll want the government to lay amendments to it when it comes back to the Commons in the new year that make it even harder and that make it even more tricky for asylum seekers to launch a challenge against their deportation. But it's not just the right of the party that Rishi Sunak has to worry about. The centrist One Nation group has said they will back this bill for now, but they are intensely worried about the way that it effectively waters down human rights laws and suspends human rights legislation entirely for certain groups of people. They've said they can back the bill in its current form, but if it gets any tougher, if those human rights laws are watered down any further, and if there's any further hint of Britain's international treaty obligations being threatened by the legislation in any amended form, they've said they will vote against it. And crucially, unlike the right of the Tory party, the centrists can always team up with Labour to water it down and essentially push it in a more liberal direction. It's not just the House of Commons that Rishi Sunak has to worry about, it's the House of Lords too. Even if this bill makes it through the House of Commons, if it's approved by the right, if it's approved by the left, the House of Lords is absolutely packed with lawyers, human rights experts, academics and retired politicians who take Britain's international obligations and international image extremely seriously. They are certain to have things to say about this bill. It wasn't in the Tory manifesto, so the Lords is not bound by the convention that they let the government's manifesto promises sail through. There's every chance that they are going to pass their own amendments which further weaken this bill, and that of course would make it even more unacceptable to the right. Let's imagine though that it goes through the Commons and it goes through the Lords and this bill becomes law in January or February. Rishi Sunak says that's going to be enough to get this Rwanda plan off the ground at last. He might be right, but he might be wrong. Legal experts are divided. This case will go back to the courts. Asylum seekers who are earmarked for deportation for Rwanda will launch legal challenges if they can. And it remains possible that the courts could just block the policy once again. And that brings us straight back to square one.